Welcome back to Mac Talks of Football, and what a disappointing result it was for Lille in their game against Havre. Uh, I I really don't know where to start if I'm being very honest with you, because it was a really poor performance from Lille. They started the game really good. They were on the front foot. They were playing good football, and they went ahead and they took the lead early on as well. But it never really felt like that they dominated that game. It always felt like they was missing something, whether it was their confidence or whatnot. It just felt like they were not on it for today. I think they were so poor in front of the goal, if I'm being very honest with you. And they get punished for that as well. They scored the equalizer very quickly. It was a very weak goal to concede as well, if I'm being very honest with you. And the moment that equalizer goes in, the way that the Lille players reacted, I mean, it was so bizarre to watch that game. I'm really surprised with the way these the so-called big teams have playing. We watched yesterday in Marseille against Nantes. It was such a pathetic performance, and today against again Lille today, it was so poor for them. Like I am watching that game, and I'm scratching my head like, what are these guys doing? They were so flat. There's literally no urgency from the little players, to try to go ahead and try to make those runs into the right channels. Try to put Aliavar under pressure. Nothing of that sort. They were just so calm. They're just moving along, and it felt so weird watching at that game. You are here trying to fight for, to get into the Champions League next season. You want to finish in the top four and qualify for the Champions League, and this is how you are performing. I mean, I was so surprised, especially with Monaco already winning. So you have another team trying to chance you. Now you have a game between Lyon and Rennes later on, and there's a big chance that Lyon can overtake you. So I'm just thinking here, and I'm like, I'm so baffled with that performance. After watching him, I am really surprised, because it was so poor. They first, they were so slow in creating those chances, and they really did not in that first half. After, even during the before the first goal, it's like they started really good. They created good amount of chances in that first half, but the way that they moved the ball, it was so slow. So from the get go, they were really slow, and they got the goal, and even they got the goal as well. It was nothing spectacular. I mean, the chances that they were creating, the movement of the players in the box, outside the box, around the box, it was very poor. They were so lethargic in their method, in their approach. It was so infuriating as a neutral as well to watch them play like that. I'm like, what the hell are you guys doing there? And then second half as well, they were so poor. The moving the ball with with no urgency. You are trying to win a game here. You are the home team. You are the favorite as well. And I'm not gonna take anything away from Ali Awer, and we're gonna talk about them later on. But Lille made it very easy for Liaver. Liaver came here. They wanted to defend. They started the game on the back foot. Their main goal was to defend and make sure they don't concede. They ended up conceding, and then they come back into the game. They start attacking Lille, and they score that equalizer, and then they go back to defending, and they defended very well. But if I'm being very honest with you, Lille did not create enough. They did not pose that many questions that Liaver had to answer. I don't think the goalkeeper was tested at that much. I think he had to make a one or two good saves. Apart from that, it was very poor. They were so toothless in front of the goal. They were so poor. Firstly, they were not really able to create any good chance, and where you felt to get the ball in the box, where you felt like Lille are going to go ahead and score the goal. And secondly, even when they did it, the finishing was so poor, and it was a really pathetic performance. I'm going to say it again, and I'm baffled with the way that they played today. You had a chance to put pressure on Lyon and Red, who are going to play that game later on. It's already a big game there. Both of them are going to be under a lot of pressure, because both of them are fighting for the same thing. So Lille had a great chance here to win this game and put pressure on both of them. And if that game ended up in a draw and Lille had won, it would have been a really a good thing for them. It would have given them a lot of breathing space for them and the teams below them for those Champions League spots. Now they are in a situation where they could go to a fourth, and they can lose that automatic Champions League spot. So I cannot believe the way that they performed today. The manager made substitutions as well, but nothing really clicked for them. It was a bizarre game. If you're a Lille fan, you would not believe that that's how your a team played and performed. It was a really poor performance. I'm like really speechless after watching that game. Ali Aware, to their credit, there was still a fear that Leavre might get dragged in that relegation scrap, but I think this was a very huge point for them. I think they are going to be safe. Just 2 points left. There's still a chance that something might happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's a really good performance. If you're a Leavre player, a Leavre fan, you started the game, you had to defend Lille's onslaught for the first 10 to 15 minutes. But again, I'm going to say, even that first 10 15 minutes where Lille looked really good, they really won, not that threatening. They conceded a goal. It was a soft goal to concede, but they responded very well. You have to give Aliabar credit. They responded very well. They get that equalizer, and then they come back again. They start defending, and they start defending really good. Because they needed to do that, and they were really good in defensively. They frustrated the hell out of Lille. And you cannot fault Leaver in that regard. That Lille did not turn up. Leaver had a job to defend, and they did that very convincingly. If Lille did not perform up to their standard, that's not Leaver's fault. For them, the main thing was to defend, and they defended really well. As I was saying, for Leaware, they came here, they had a plan, they stick to the plan, they concede the goal, they get the equalizer, and they did it very well. It was a really good performance defensively, and you need to give the players and the team a credit, because the home fans were really up for it. It's a tough place to go, but if they are going to go back, if I'm being very honest with you, the Leaware players and the team and everyone, they are going to go back, and they're going to think how easy it was, to play against Lille, because Lille were so poor. They were so poor. They really did not turn up. So for Lille, so for Leaver, it turned out to be quite rather an easy game. And at moments when Leaver tried in that second half, they really did not. I'm not gonna deny it. They preferred to sit back and to let Lille have the ball and try to defend. I think that was the mindset. But whenever they had a couple of chances, when they hit the counter attack, they looked more threatening than Lille to score the goal. That just shows how poor Lille were. They had like 20 plus shots, Lille, on and still they were so poor. It did not feel like it did not in that second half. It never felt like they were going to go ahead and score a goal. That shows how poor they were, and I think they need to really hope that that game does not, that Lyon don't end up winning that game, or Rennes win that game, or that game ends in a draw. Because if not, then I think Lille have really shot themselves in the foot with this performance. It is a really poor performance, in my opinion. That's it for me in this video. Let me know what you guys thought of the game, Lille's performance, Taylor's performance, and do you think they'll have shot themselves in the foot, or do you think there's still a chance that they might directly qualify for the Champions League and avoid playing that qualification round? And do you think Lever are safe, or do you think they can still get dragged into that relegation battle? Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, share it as well, click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 600 subscribers before the end of the season. Less than 40 subscribers remaining, so please go ahead and subscribe and help the channel out. Until next time, bye bye.